Hey Simmers, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to continue the micro home challenge, and this time we're gonna do a boho micro home. Boho is one of my favorite styles in terms of furniture, and you know, that idea of like having everything rattan, cane, and having that whole like idea of having a lot of like greenery and like colors, which is something I really love. In terms of like what really the boho style is, it's a lot of like even eclectic choices, and there's a lot of like contrast in between like furniture as well as like, you know, a mix and match actually of furniture, more eclectic colors. So I tried to get like kind of like my version of what I would love like a boho home to be, a micro home for myself actually in this case, because I love like rattan furniture, but I never really owned any of them simply because I've always lived in a house with pets. My dog particularly loves to have a crunch on some furniture, at least she used to, so I never really got round to have rattan furniture. So this is kind of like my dream home. So I started off the outside with these amazing tiles. If I do not get it wrong, it's from Felixand or House of Alex. I might get it wrong, so beware. Everything is gonna be linked below in the description. Some content I use, but they're like actually one of my favorite duo that makes costume content, and I love what they do, so be sure to check them out. So yeah, I started off with these tiles, and like I kept kind of like these green and green for the roof as well as for the tiles, and this kind of like pink brownish color. Then starting on the inside, as I said, I always love to start from the toilet. It's probably like a smaller room to like take care of, but it's also one that I really love to decorate. So I went for like more of a bluish kind of look in this toilet, and I actually used the tiny corner, the last tile for the 32 tiles of this micro home, to actually fit the shower. These tiny corners are like perfect to either fit a shower or a toilet itself, and like I honestly love them. So it kind of took a lot of like colors, it kind of like the whole inside is gonna be like a very calm space, and there's gonna be like pop of colors like for the in the wallpapers as well as for the flooring. Most of it's actually tiles, because I love the choice that we actually have with like costume content, and I do love a good tile. I can't say no to that. And then I went off with some lighting. I used mostly like rattan lighting, but then in the end I actually used something that was more of like kind of like a chandelier. Not chandelier, but like kind of like a glass light for the kitchen, which you're gonna see. Yeah, like kind of, I don't know. It looked more boho to me than just doing rattan in all the rooms. So I was like, you know what, mix and match. That's what we're all about. Because at the end of the day, boho, it's kind of like this eclectic style. It's not just rattan furniture, as I actually believed before. But hey, so yeah, then I went off to decorate. As usual, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth, because with costume content and the fact that I share the game with my sister, and she loves costume content like crazy. She loves to decorate houses, so it's always like there's a lot. It's we have like kind of like a ginormous amount of stuff, and going through it, there's gonna be a lot of back and forth, because you know, when you are doing the kitchen, you might find the perfect, like, I don't know, a hairbrush, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put it in the toilet, and then you're gonna find something that it's perfect for the candle to put, or like an armchair, or like a rug. So it's gonna be a lot of back and forth in whatever build you're gonna see when there's gonna be costume content. Can't do much for it. As I said before in another video, if you do have a mod that can help to like keep them tidier, please do suggest down in the comments, because I kinda go crazy with it, but it's fine. I also decided to add some greenery. As I said before, there's gonna be a lot of hanging plants in here. Probably went far too much with them, but there's never too many in my opinion. I love the greenery and what they add, and I think mostly for like this boho home, these were absolutely necessary, as well as having a lot of like you know, plants around. But being a micro home, there's not much floor space, so I usually go with hanging plants, a lot of like macrame kind of like holding pots and stuff, and I think they do fit this style perfectly. For the kitchen, I decided to go for very like light counters as well as cabinets, simply because I think the tiles were already like an amazing color, and I really love the idea of having like this kind of like very light kitchen that like fits very well with like anything that it's rattan and cane and things like this that you're gonna see a lot later on. And there's gonna be a lot of like there's gonna be like glass cabinets on top, simply because I don't know how you call them, like the one with the windows, I guess glass cabinets. I have no idea what's the proper name, so do pardon me on that. And there's gonna be like in the middle, there's gonna be intermittent shelving, simply because there's gonna be a lot of decor. I thought that this was gonna be like the actual build where I could like go insane with whatever clutter I could find, because I have like so much custom content that it's rattan that I was like, this is gonna be the build where I'm gonna use all of it. Well, I'm gonna try most of it, not all of it, but you know, that was the intent, and that's why I got glass cabinets. I usually try not to add them too many times unless I have like a clutter pack, if I'm doing like a challenge where I just use the base game, simply because I don't find there's so much that you can use unless you have like the kits, and like some of the kits, like the kitchen ones and stuff. I find that like, you know, there's not so much choice in the base game itself. But in any case, I decided to go for this gorgeous like stove. I love it. I usually wouldn't put a stove like right beside the fridge, simply because I first do not like it. It's not my preference in like real life anyway, but I was like, you know what, we're short on space, there's gonna be like counter and then the sink. Special mention goes to the pot filler faucet, which are like very popular right now, and like this would be like my dream in a kitchen. I don't know why, like maybe it's not like the most not useful thing. It is very useful, but maybe it's not the most needed thing. But if there's one thing that I would love to add, that like, you know, that would be a great add-on, that would be one. Anyway, a lot of clutter in the kitchen as usual. I also love this sink, which is like very farmhouse sink, and I think it fits very well with like that golden faucet. And then I went with a lot of like wood, some rattan vases, and then something like very simple with like some pots and things like this just to decorate, and a bin, which I think it's probably the most forgotten piece of furniture in any like Sims build, let's be honest. And like, I'm still very upset, I already said it in another video, but I'm still very upset that we don't have like, you know, the bin that you could put in the cabinets anymore. Like, that was so useful, and now they took it off. So please, the Sims team, please put it back. My little run, so I decided to actually move again the stairs to get to the bedroom, simply because I always put them somewhere, but like then I kinda like change idea in while I start building, and I decided to go just for this very simple like wood table with a rattan chair, just something very simple, just to have enough space for one or two people. You could also like prop another chair. And I also love like these details on the side on the wall, where you have like this wooden like paper roll dispense and things like these. I just think they look very farmhouse, country house kind of thing. But I was like, you know what? And no one tells me not to do it. So much fun. Probably spend far too much time like decorating the kitchen, but it's fine because that's what I loved about this house. And I added more plants on top, like hanging plants. I tried to pick like different ones, and I kinda like ended up like, you know, changing things up a bit and just switching stuff up. You know, that's what we do. Then I decided to go for a rug, simply because I like not to delimitate the space, like to just because I love to have like a bit of a rug in the kitchen, even if like maybe food wise a lot of people might not be like very much into the idea of having a rug, but I think they do add some warmth, as well as like, you know, giving kind of like a space to it that feels cozy and very like natural. It doesn't feel like, oh, you know, I just put it there because I didn't know what to do with it. It just gives like a nice space, in my opinion, to a living area, to like a dining area, and in general a kitchen. Off to the bedroom, which was one of the rooms I was most excited about, simply because I use a lot of rattan and cane beds in all of my like the builds that I do for myself, just to play The Sims, or like whenever I try to use custom content. Why? Because I'm obsessed with these beds. Never had one, as I said before. I'm in a house full of pets, so it's kind of like difficult going for rattan stuff. So I kind of live my dreams inside inside The Sims, and I really love this one. It's a cane bed, very simple, but I think the added mattress on top and like bedding and stuff, it like gives you like this very calm, very cozy idea with like the blanket still coming down. I just really love it. Can't do anything for it. I'm obsessed with it. Then I decided to go for like kind of like a matching side table as well as a dresser, which were still in like came with this like rattan details, which I absolutely love. And then star of the show, because I was like I was kind of worried that there wouldn't be like enough space, but actually in a micro home you just have to be more happy to like change stuff, because you kind of see like the space when you start putting like, you know, furnitures in there, and you kind of see the space like even better. But I was so not surprised, but I was kind of relieved that a desk could fit. I love this desk. I use it in most of my builds. Can't remember if it's from Tiny Living or my big guesses go on Business and Hobbies. I just love it. It's very tiny, but I love how versatile it is. Tiny but enough space to like kind of work or like let Sims use the laptop and stuff. I just love it, and there's still enough space to put some more clutter, because that's what we love. Without losing my train of thoughts, so yeah, I decided to add like a few things on the desk, like a bit of greenery, pictures, like, you know, pens, like pen holders and things like this, a calendar, simply because you want to make it feel like someone just left the chair and just got up. And as usual, there's a lot of back and forth for decoration, because you can find things kind of like everywhere in the most random of places, which is something I kind of struggle with custom content, but I just love it so much I can't get enough of it. That's that's the deal with it. So I also try to put something like more cozy on the bed, like a couple of pillows more, and like add some pop of colors. I went very like kind of like brownish, very minimal in like colors in the bedroom, because I decided just to add some pop of colors, like with pillows, the rug, and things like this, like with the greenery. Why? Simply because I think it looked more cozy to me, like very much like I would like run to it. I don't know, it was more my style, I would guess. I tried also to add more blankets, but it didn't end up working very well. You know, it was fine in the end. I tried to add more greenery of the sorts, like around, and then I went for the ones that I've already used in the kitchen, just because I love them. I think they do look very cute, and I decided to go for a pop of color with the rug, and I think this rug I'm obsessed with. From the how is it called? From like the interior decor pack, and I'm like, I love it. There's like so many cute things in there, and they look great. So I went for a pop of yellow because I think it looked very well with it, and then added some more wall decor for the kitchen, like with these pans in like gold. Well, it's not really gold, but like, you know, it added a pop of color. And last but not least, my least favorite, but I think sometimes like when I do this build that they're like so small, sometimes doing windows can get a bit tricky. But we did end up in the end, and I did another thing that I actually wrong last time, because I called them like taped windows, which are like a very different thing. In the kitchen I use what I call ribbon windows, which are very 70s, like and they were like very popular in the 70s as like an architectural like element. I love to use them as the backsplash. I know maybe not the best thing you could do, like in terms of like cleanliness, if you think about it, but just love them because they add the pop of light, and just around there where you have like space while you're doing the plates, or you know, you're doing your washing up or you're cooking, and you have like that nice like window to look out from. I know maybe it doesn't make sense in like real life as much as it does in a build, but I just love them. I think they look very nice, and I've been using them in my last few builds, and I just think they do have their own purpose. Yeah, maybe cleanliness is not the best, but it's fun. As I said before, I do change a lot the roof, so I ended up going for another shape. Wow, that's a big, that was a big news. No, that's not, but hey. I decided to go for like a different roof as well as color, um, simply because at the end of it, when I looked at it outside, I thought that like the roof didn't look as nice as I thought it looked in the beginning, and I was like, this does not really fit the bill, and I decided to change it. And then on, I went for a bit of landscaping, as I said before. I'm doing mostly like the build inside for now. Maybe I'll go back in like in another video to do more landscaping or wherever, not like for the outside, but for now it's like very minimal, just to give it like an idea of where you are. Anyway, I went for this like red colored roofing, which I think looks very well in contrast to the green and to the blue of the door. And for a bit of landscaping, I went very simple, and I also thought that this house could actually be perfect with some spiky plants around. I don't know, it gave me like very much like a desert, kind of like a desert home. Not really a desert home, but like maybe in an area where it's like very hot and like it's very arid and things like this. So I was like, you know, cactuses would look very good, like anything spiky. I think like kind of like merge very well with like the whole house. We're at the end of this Boho Micro Home build. Hope you enjoy it, and if there's anything you would have changed or done differently, or you have any requests for another video, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll respond to you ASAP. Thank you so much again if you reached the end of this. I truly appreciate your support, and I'll leave you some screenshots and some videos of this boho home, and you can find everything linked in the description below. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.